Hello besties, welcome to another stitch tutorial, and today we're going to learn how to crochet the Jasmine stitch. So this is a yarn eater, relatively easy, looks intimidating, but it gives very beautiful fabric. It's very thick or textured, and you can use any weight of yarn that you have around. So let's just jump over to the video. For this tutorial, I'm going to use this yarn. This is a milk cotton yarn and a 4mm crochet hook or US number 6 hook, and then you'll need a pair of scissors. So the reason I'm using this milk cotton yarn is a medium weight yarn, and most of them recommend a bigger hook, but I prefer using a smaller hook to have small holes in between my petals. So to begin, I'm going to start by making a slip knot. And as opposed to normal stitches where you start with foundation chains, here we're going to start with foundation puff stitches. After creating a slip knot, you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to pull up a loop, roughly about half or 3/4 of an inch, then yarn over, hold your loop and your yarn over, then insert your hook in the first chain, yarn over, pull through, pull it to the length of these previous 2 loops, then hold the 3 loops together, yarn over, hold that loop, insert your hook in the same chain, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 5 loops. Then you're going to yarn over, go back in the same chain, the 3rd time, yarn over, pull through. Now we have 7 loops on our hook, and then you're going to pinch the yarn here at the base of our loops, the yarn that you're working on, then yarn over and pull through all the 7 loops. Then come back in the loop that you held down here, or that you pinched, insert your hook in that loop, yarn over, pull through, then finish with a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 1. So our first puff stitch is complete, and you're going to create these puff stitches until we have our desired length of the foundation stitches. So we've created our first puff. We're going to add more until we have our desired length, and we're going to turn and proceed to our first row. So to add another puff, you're going to pull your yarn, make sure it's the same length as the previous puff so that you can have uniform puffs. Then go in the single crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go back, then go the 3rd time or until you have 7 loops on your hook. Once we have the 7 loops on our hook, we want to pinch the yarn or hold it, then yarn over, pull through, and then this loop that has been created by holding the yarn here, going to insert your hook and work a single crochet. Then remember to chain 1 after every puff. Add more puffs. Always remember to pinch this yarn here before you yarn over and pull through all the 7 loops. Then go in that loop, finish off with a single crochet, then chain 1. So continue making these puffs until you have your desired length. I'll add 8 to 10, and then I meet you in row 1. So once you have your desired number of puffs for the foundation row, I have 8 puffs here. I'm going to add 1 puff to turn our work. So add another puff This puff does not count as the foundation puffs. Once you have your 7 loops, pinch your yarn and then finish with a single crochet. Then always remember to chain 1. So this is our, I can call it our first puff on our first row. So for row 1, we're going to start creating our petals, and to create the petals, you're going to create 3 puffs together. So we're going to create puff at the top of our turning puff, at the base of the turning puff, and in the next space. So at the top of the next puff, and then at the base of the next puff. To show you what I mean or what I'm saying, so create your first puff at the top of this turning puff. You create puff, just yarning over, insert hook, pull up until you have 7 loops on your hook. And then once you have your 7 loops, you're going to yarn over, go in the next single crochet space, add another, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through 3 times. So instead of having 7, you're going to have 6 loops in this next space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then yarn over, go in the next single crochet space, yarn over, pull through 3 times. So you should have a total of 19 loops on your hook. 7, 6, plus 6. Then pinch your yarn, yarn over, pull through all those 19 loops. Then come back in this space that we pinched, finish with a single crochet, then chain 1. So you can see our first petal forming here. This one, and this one. This was our turning puff. And that is what you're going to repeat. Work a puff at the top of this petal. Sorry, at the top of the petal. Once you have your 7 loops, you're going to yarn over, draw 6 loops in the base of the petal. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 3 times. Then go in the next one here, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Make sure that your loops are same height. Once you have the 19 loops in total, you're going to yarn over. Always remember to hold your yarn at the base of that petal and pull through. Then insert your hook in that loop where we pinched and finish with a single crochet. Then always remember to chain 1 at the end of every petal. To add another petal, create a puff at the top of the previous petal, at the bottom or the base of the previous petal, and in the next single crochet space. So pull through, and then yarn over, insert your hook, pull through until you have 7 loops. Then yarn over, go at the base of that petal, pull through 3 times, yarn over, insert your hook and pull through. You shall have 7 and 6. Then add 6 more loops in this next space by yarning over, inserting hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go back, yarn over, pull through, and then do this one more time. Once you have 19 loops, which is 7, 6, 6, going to yarn over, pull through all those 19 loops, then finish it with a single crochet in that loop that we held or we pinched at the base of the petal. Then chain 1 and continue. So that is what you're going to repeat all the way to the end of row 1. Just create petals pull through 7 loops at the top of that previous petal, pull 6 loops at the base of the petal, and then 6 loops in the next single crochet space. Then you pinch your yarn. Always remember to pinch your yarn before you yarn over, pull through all the 19 loops. Then finish with a single crochet in that space that you pinched, then chain 1. So continue with that, and then I'll meet you when you only have 1 puff remaining at the end of our row 1. So I went ahead with my row, and here I have 1 puff remaining. I'm going to create a petal at the top of my previous petal, at the base of it, and in this chain 1 for the very first chain that we started our first petal from. So draw loops, doing the single crochet and over, pull through until you have 7 loops. Then you want to go in the base of it and over, pull through until you have 6 loops in that second space. And then yarn over, go in the very last chain or the very first chain of our previous row and draw loops, 6 loops in that space. Then once you have your 19 loops, you're going to pinch your yarn, then yarn over, pull through all those 19 loops. Then go in that loop that we pinched and finish with a single crochet. So that marks the end of our first row, and you can see now the petals clearly. Now our second row is the repeat row until the end of this work. So you're going to chain 1. Remember to chain 1 at the end of every petal. Then turn your work, and you're going to start with our turning puff stitch. Work the puff stitch in that first single crochet space. To work a puff stitch, yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, and repeat that until you have 7 loops. Then pinch your yarn over, pull through the 7 loops. Always remember to start with this turning puff stitch, then single crochet and chain 1. So our next puff or our next petal is going to be at the top of the turning puff, at the base of the turning puff, and in the next single crochet space. So start with our first puff. By now you should know how to work puff stitches, but do not complete this one. Just stop when you have your 7 loops. Once you have 7 loops, yarn over, go at the base of the turning chain or the turning puff, I hope you're understanding what I'm doing here. Once you have your 6 loops, yarn over and go in the next single crochet space, okay? Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. So when you have the 19 loops on your hook, you're going to yarn over and pull through, but remember to hold this yarn here before you yarn over and pull through all the 19 loops. Then single crochet in this space that you pinned down there, then chain 1. So for the subsequent or for the next puffs, we're going to do what we did in row 1. Pull up a loop, work your first puff stitch at the top of this first petal by yarning over, inserting, yarning over, pull through. When you have your 7 loops, you're going to yarn over, go at the base of that first puff, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, and yarn over, pull through. Once you have your 6 loops in the next space, you're going to pull 6 loops in this third space. So at this point you should have 19 loops on your hook in total. Then yarn over. Remember to pinch your yarn at the base of these last loops. Then pull through the 19. Insert your hook in that space where we pinched our yarn and finish with a single crochet. Then chain 1 and repeat the next step all the way to the end. So I'll just show you one more. Pull up your loop, yarn over, go at the top of that next petal, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Then do this once more. Once you have your 7 loops, you're going to yarn over, go at the base of the puff, and repeat the pattern by yarning over, inserting hook, and pulling through 3 times. Once you have the 6 loops, you're going to do this in the third space. I hope I'm not so fast. And then once you have the 19 loops, hold this yarn here at the base, then yarn over, pull through all those 19 loops, then go in the space where we pinched our yarn, insert hook, pull through, then finish the single crochet. Always remember to chain 1 at the end of every puff or petal. So that is what you're going to repeat, and then I'll meet you when you only have this one puff remaining or the last petal remaining. So I went ahead and I'm here at the end of my work. What you're going to do, you're going to repeat the same pattern I've been doing, and instead of going in the last space, you're going to find this chain here. We're going to go inside this single crochet at the edge of this last puff. So work your 7 loops on this space at the top of that previous petal, and then 6 loops at the base of the petal, and then we can work this one together. So once you reach the end, you're going to yarn over, turn your work to the side, and you can see that V there at the very edge. We're going to insert our hook in this stitch. It's a single crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go back, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go back, yarn over, pull through. Then pinch your yarn over, pull through all the 19 loops, then finish with a single crochet in that space where we pinched our yarn. So that is the end of our third row. We're going to chain 1, then turn. So row 4 onwards, you're going to repeat that row 3 pattern, and you want to make sure that you end your row in an odd number of, or the odd number of row. So mine is at row 3. You can now see it has full petals. So you want to make sure that you end your rows in an odd number, so you can end it on row 5 or row 11 or row 21 as you prefer. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more crochet stitch patterns. Thank you and bye.